Hello and welcome. Today, I'm excited to introduce Layla Bouzoubaa, a PhD candidate at Drexel University. Layla's research focuses on understanding the experiences of people who use substances, with a special emphasis on recovery stories and personal narratives. Her goals are clear. She's working to reduce stigma and build a more understanding view of substance use. By using real stories, Layla aims to inspire positive change and help people see substance use from a more compassionate perspective. Some of her key projects include analyzing conversations about substance use on Reddit, where she studies how people share their experiences online. She's also exploring the concept of recovery support, focusing on ways to shift away from harmful language that often surrounds these topics. In this interview, we'll dive deeper into Layla's insights on substance use and recovery, explore how social media is shaping recovery stories, and learn more about her journey as a researcher committed to making a positive impact. Hello, Layla. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So let's start with your elevator pitch. Can you introduce yourself and briefly describe your work?
Sure. As you mentioned, my name is Layla Bouzoubaa. I am currently in my fourth year as a PhD student here at Drexel University in Philadelphia. I am studying substance use disorder from the lens of social computing, trying to understand how people talk about their substance use disorder publicly, how they present themselves using methods in natural language processing and a bit of qualitative methods as well.
Mhm. So how are you utilizing AI to create positive impacts or address societal challenges?
Well, substance use disorder is a pretty significant problem here in the United States, anyways. It's always been referred to as the opioid epidemic, but it is more than just opioids now. We are experiencing overdose death rates at an unprecedented rate. And a lot of those people that, unfortunately, who suffer from a substance use disorder do not seek any form of formal treatment. Rather, they either do some kind of self-help or don't acknowledge that they may have a dependency, or they just seek the support of their community. Obviously, there's a lot of challenges out there, a lot of obstacles, whether it's stigma or the cost of healthcare in the United States, or um, even just accessibility barriers. Um, but what I'm trying to do is to use AI as a tool to really scale up some of the exploration analyses that can be done on text-based social media data. I really believe that if you can understand the lived experiences of people who have had or are currently suffering from a substance use disorder, you can maybe start to understand just how they got to where they are, to see how you can best help them. They are going to know how to be helped better than anyone. There is no one size fits all approach to substance use disorder treatment, and really my approach in my research, and I guess the I don't know the I don't like to say that I do AI like NLP research, because to me it's more of a tool. It's
Mm.
just a tool in my toolbox among a bunch of other tools to be able to apply that tool to a problem and really be problem centered.
Mhm. So, um, so what are some key lessons you've learned through your work, especially with AI?
Especially with AI, some lessons. Um, that's a good question. Obviously, AI is going to evolve very quickly. I I don't I've used quantitative methods and what could have been considered AI for a while, but I don't think I've ever experienced the pace of development that we've experienced only in the past 3 years. with the kind of AI tools that are available to us now. And I guess the biggest lesson that I've learned is that the approach to kind of like the approach I just mentioned of using AI as a tool has really saved me from a lot of uh, heartbreak and headache with my research, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not out here trying to evolve and create new methods. If I was, I'd be constantly trying to keep up and realizing, all right, now this is the latest state of the art, and I'm trying now. I just got to get a 2% accuracy improvement
Mm-hmm.
on this model. The problem applying taking a problem centric approach to the research and applying these AI methodologies has allowed me to really scale my exploration, something that I've never been able to do before in the past,
Mm-hmm.
um, and get an even larger picture of what the problem is. And because the problem right now is not going to change in at least in 3 years, at the same rate the AI is evolving, right? This
Mm-hmm.
problem is going to persist. It's going to persist for quite some time. And so there's always going to be new technologies, and I can continue to apply these technologies, take a more technological approach to solving this problem. This is, I think, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is, I think, as researchers in information science and I don't know, mixed methods and human computer interaction, there's a blessing to be, to be made in applying the AI to the problem and really be problem
Mm-hmm.
centric.
Yeah, you're right. Um, so in a nutshell, you're saying we should be problem centric and not like tool centric. We shouldn't be like, okay, this is AI, this is cool. I should work on this for 5 years in my PhD, make it better, because then you have to compete with all these big tech companies, right?
Yes, but I do want to add a caveat. I do recognize that, in the broad landscape of AI, um, that that can't always be the approach.
Mm-hmm.
And in this little bubble that I'm in, anyways, this little corner of research, um, where it's probably more like maybe even it's like public health, but also human computer interaction, social
Mm-hmm.
computing. Uh, that I believe that's the way to go. That's truly the way to go. I'm not someone who's doing, heavy theoretical based
Mm-hmm.
machine learning kind of research, which even then is also problem centric, right? You
Mm-hmm.
recognize that the limitations in a model, and those kind of developers are really trying to tackle this one aspect to improve and create some new technologies. But what I mean by problem centric is identify, at least in for social good um, aspects, is to identify the problems and do what it takes, use the methods that it takes to try and address those problems and identify causes.
Mm-hmm. So what developments in AI are you most excited about for the future? Like, we always hear about these existential threats and everything like that. What are the good things and exciting things and hopeful things that you have?
Ooh. I think I think for me, for somebody, for people like me, but me specifically, that uh, really want to do to use AI for, like you mentioned, social good. I'm really happy to see the push that the industry is making towards responsible use, like responsible AI. Also, making sure, for example, making sure that um, there's accurate representation, or even like effective representation in the models that we're learning, that we aren't producing technologies that are harmful or they're going to further exacerbate an existing problem,
Hmm.
such as in the criminal justice system in the United States. A lot of these technologies are being used unintentionally, uh, actually hurting certain populations that have already been historically predisposed to having like uh, like unfairly treated in our criminal justice system. I think socially, like as a society, we are, or people who are, well, actually, I think I want to give more credit to the public. They're becoming more informed on what AI can do and some of the harms that AI can do. And I think there's a growing intolerance for improper use of AI, and it's really putting a strain on and pressure on the big companies to actually produce models that are safe or safer anyways. You can't get away
Mm,
with some of the stuff that maybe they've done in the past.
yeah. So, as we wrap up our conversation, it's your turn to pass the popcorn. Who would you recommend I reach out to for the next interview and why?
Oh, this is okay. So now I have a few people now that in my direct circle whom I um who I have okay. Well, in Drexel, um I think it would be interesting to have a conversation with Ed Kim. I think
Mhm.
he's not a student, he's a faculty here in computer science who has familiarity with the research side and the industry side, working, having some experience with startups and things like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, thank you for being here and sharing your insights. And it's been an honor, and I hope you stay connected.
Obviously, I'm very happy to, and thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you for tuning in to today's conversation. I hope you found it insightful and engaging. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others who might be interested. And if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for being part of this journey, and I look forward to having you join me in the next episode.